a person with a possible ADHD can be such highly functioning in life, perfectly imperfect. She took ADHD and she ran with it.
It's scary coming out as a psychic medium. Oh my gosh, like I knew that was going to happen. I actually helped find a missing girl.
I mean, because you really have to get into a nice focused.
Is this what I want to bring into my awareness? Am I worshiping my worry?
So today we have Ina back with us, Ina Phillips, and she has brought along a wonderful guest with her that she's going to introduce to us, Tina, and she's a queen of ribbons. I can't wait to hear more about that and how ADHD affects her life. So, Ina.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. It's a typical morning, so we have all sorts of technical difficulties. I'm excited. We're all in the same boat. And being ADHD person, we're like, okay with that. So Tina and I would go way back, many, many years. We met when we both were in different seasons of our lives. I would say since that time, we each improve in our own ways and we reconnected and we really welcome this reconnection because we always had a very strong bond and we can relate to each other without changes. We support each other. We support each other professionally, personally, spiritually, however you name it. And so Tina, since I know her, she actually starts showing off the sides of her very unique talent. She's a queen of ribbons. It might be very shocking for other people, not shocking for me because I do understand a little bit of the way how the spirituality works and what people use for showing it off and using it. But Tina did create it her own way, and she would talk about it more often and more in details. But the reason why I brought her on podcast and the reason why I decided to introduce you to Janine because I know Tina has ADHD. And Tina knows that she has ADHD. And being on her life, I literally diagnose her, which we're not doing that, by the way. We're not diagnosing ourselves. But it's such a great subject. And I just wanted to introduce Tina to Janine and show her how a person with a possible ADHD can be such highly functioning in life, building new businesses, exploring new sides of her life, and actually just thriving in being perfectly imperfect and full of different colors. She took ADHD and she ran with it. And you would understand in just a second how she emphasized ADHD is in the most wonderful and amazing way. And so I am handing it off to Tina to talk about her amazing talent.
Oh, thank you so much, Ina. I appreciate you. I love it every time because you're always with your phone and you're doing videos and every time you come to one of my events, I'm like instantly elevated when I see you. I'm like, I hope I get to read her. I hope I get to read her. So thank you. I appreciate you very much. So yes, I see energy as color coming from everyone and everything. Your heart, your aura, um the plants outside, like when you start thinking about someone else in your brain, I see more colors and I'll be like, well, let's dissect that a little. I could talk about it for days. It took me a long time to share, as you know. It's scary coming out as a psychic medium with the skepticism and the stereotype. And it's even scarier coming out of one who made up their own way of reading. Like, who do I think I am, right? Well, I am nobody, but I am Tina, and this is how I view things and see things. And when I started journaling this, what colors I saw around people, what feelings it invoked, when they got around other people, how the colors changed, what that invoked. When I started really dissecting that and journaling about it, I was blown away and I went back and would go read later, like, oh my gosh, like I knew that was going to happen by reading into these colors. Like, how did I know that? I thought I was crazy for the longest time. You were there during a time when I wanted to quit, and during that time, I actually helped find a missing girl in Colorado, and that gave me that oomph to, nope, you're not quitting, girl. You got something here. Um, and now I'm traveling and reading all over Michigan and doing it in my own studio. So I've grown quite a bit in my own craft, which was hard to learn because it was spirit teaching me. And that seems crazy to a lot of people.
Not to me. This is perfectly normal.
Right.
Maybe for Janine. I did not warn you. Janine is a
No,
skeptic.
because
So
if you think about it, think about that. I read tarot cards,
Yep.
and I also do drawing through it's
intuitive drawing.
So you're not as skeptical, Sally, as you think you are.
And can
so
we just add
I'm
that stuff like this is a perfect therapy for ADHD too? Don't you think, Janine?
Yeah.
we have very creative minds, ADHD people do, and so I think that we have a different energy than a lot of people do. And so I'm curious when I say that because I feel like we have a different kind of energy. Do you see people with ADHDs? Are their ribbons different?
Their combination could be different. Like their combination of colors. You can have one ribbon, you can have five. Like the most I've read is five. Yeah, the most I've read is five. Um, and the more you have, I do think the more complex your personality is. So it, yeah, now that you're asking me that, I'm thinking the more colors you have, the more you are apt to be more creative, more head in the clouds. Gosh, how many times I heard that. Get your head out of the clouds, Tina. And I'm like, but why? It's fantastic here. Do you want to know what's going on? I mean, I'm like creating lands up in here with castles
Oh,
and you know.
absolutely, absolutely.
I I could see that being a commonality with more having maybe more colors.
You have to be in person, or do see
And,
and do you
nope.
see it all the time, or is it something like you have to prep for and, like get in the right mind for?
Nope, I can just be ready for it. I like to prep, because like anyone getting ready, you're a professional, if you're going to run a marathon, you're going to stretch your muscles, you're going to get ready. So I do a lot of meditating. I do a lot of groundwork outside with my feet in the grass because then I don't really have to think so much. Water. I know that's a weird one for people, but water works for me. It's like an instant woo whooshes over me. But yeah, I do like to meditate before readings just because I think it puts me in the clear space where I'm just the messenger. I'm just observing the message and then I'm relaying it to you. Like I said, who am I? I'm literally writing a book that says I am nobody. Like I am nobody, but I am a person and I do have this weird quirky gift and yeah, I can read people from through the internet. How I started was going live reading people on Facebook. Then I started charging $5 and $10, and now I'm pretty proud of myself. My a full 1 hour reading is $180, and I've kept it that way for about 3 years. Um, I don't think it should be more than that. Like I think my time is worth it 1,000%, as I believe everyone's is. I also want it to be attainable.
She has group readings, so there is a way how to do it affordably.
It really is. And I offer them at a lower cost because what isn't fantastic about getting a bunch of your closest girlfriends together, having a night with some charcuterie boards and wines and, or coffee, whatever your jam is, and just chilling and learning about one another through a weird ribbon lady that you've never met. It's so fun.
What you've told me so far involves a lot of ability to focus and concentrate
Yes.
and to
Yes.
bring yourself, and a lot of people with ADHD have a really difficult time with meditation, which is part of
Yes.
why with my drawing, my meditation is easier because I'm using something to focus it,
Yes.
you
You're
know?
thinking, but you're not thinking.
Correct. So
Yes.
how do you I mean, because you really have to get into a nice focused
Yep.
and cleared state. How do you manage that with a little ADHD floating around in there?
A lot of speaking it into existence, a lot of affirmations, like mindfulness. I'm constantly thinking, like, is this what I want to bring into my awareness? Am I worshiping my worry? Yeah, because that's a big thing. We think worst case scenario, like, I was thinking it on the way out to my shed, like, oh my God, what if this? And what if this? And I'm like, girl, woo, sa. Like, we're not worshiping worry today. You can take anything that comes at you with grace and with courage and keep it moving. So because
That's
we
perfect.
overthink, like that's a part, that's why it's hard for a lot of us to meditate, because we are
Mhm.
overthinking every scenario of even how we are going to ruin the darn meditation. You can't ruin a meditation. The fact that you're here and that you're trying is a positive sign, so keep trying. Practice makes progress. A lot of us just can't sit with nature sounds by ourselves. We need a guided meditation. I am not ashamed to say that I still put on guided meditations that are not mine. I've tried listening to mine. I go there when I go there with you guys. I'm the
Yeah.
leader, and I do meditate while I meditate. It blows me away that I could do all this at one time. Like, that's a multitasker. When you're meditating, guiding the meditation, also observing what's happening to you and the ribbons that are going to all the people in the room. And these people are in Australia, yeah, Florida, they're all over the place. So it's like, ooh, and I'm also doing chakra work and energy work, and I do ribbon Reiki. So I'm doing Reiki on them as well. I've thought about it before. I'm like, you have undervalued yourself.
Have you, like, a lot of people with ADHD I've noticed can do like a lot of things all at one
Yes.
time. So, like, because we get hyper focused on something and then we're like, yeah, in a crisis, like I've had crisis situations where like all of a sudden I am Johnny on the spot. And because with ADHD, we work really well under urgency. When
Yes.
there's
Yep.
urgency, we are very driven by
Yep.
that.
Yep. If the timeline is too far away, it's like, okay, well, that's not even in my realm of like squirrel.
Right.
It's got to be in my circle of concern and control for me to be worried about it.
Interesting that I observed that under high pressure, like in this situation where people are panicking,
Yes.
that's the only time when my brain actually works like normal people.
Yeah, it
Because
slows down and it calms.
yes, it slows down and I can breathe. And I'm like, oh, I literally didn't give a second to kind of like, oh, this is how normal people look like. Okay, well, moving on to the task at hand, saving
Right.
the
And then
Yeah.
like
world.
stuff starts falling into the list, you're like, okay, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this. But then, like, 2 hours later, when everything has calmed down, you're sitting on the couch and your couch locked and you can't do your own dang dishes.
Yeah.
But you saving the world.
But you're saving the world. Yeah.
Just this morning, I saved the world and I can't do my dishes now.
Yeah. Yeah. I've done enough superwomaning today.
I
But,
love it.
if you tell me something like that's very urgent is going to happen, like, something bad is going to happen to somebody if you don't do your dishes, well, suddenly I'm going to be motivated to do my dishes.
Yeah. And I have found now, this was brought to my attention by a family member, because I spent a whole year and a half, every single weekend, I worked a psychic fair or a vendor event every single weekend. And I'm like, I'm going to put all my money into myself. And if I don't make it at the end of the year, I'm quitting. I
I
put
remember
that
you
on
talking
myself.
about it. I
But
remember you talking about it.
yeah, I was like, I'm going to put everything in. And do you know that before every event, I added pressure to myself. I added things to that were lost, that I couldn't find, that was broken. And a family member said to me, "Girl, I know you work well under pressure. I know that is where you believe that you thrive. But imagine if you went to one of these events with ease, with peace, with love, and dancing on the way there instead of almost in tears. Like, is that what you want to bring to your day? Is that going to bring you money and readings? And come on, you're an energy girl. What are you doing?" And I'm like, I don't know. what am I doing? Like, and I noticed it. Like, my kids could tell because, you when you're stressed out, you tend to take it out on the ones you love the most. And they're like, why is she doing this before every event? This is what she loves. Well, she diagnosed it for me in that 5-second conversation that I was putting pressure on myself because I work well under pressure, and I felt that would help me perform better.
Well, and that it does resonate with me because every time I perform, I am a nervous wreck. I cannot even enjoy starting to perform because I'm in such a bad mental state at that point because I'm
Yeah.
so worried. It's
Yeah.
insane. And I told myself to do whatever needs to be done and remind myself to be kinder because then I don't enjoy the beginning of that process. When I get in there, I enjoy it.
Yes.
But then it goes away so fast that then it's like, and you're done. So then I'm like, okay, just cherish that moment. You actually love doing this.
Yes, you do. And you thrive in it. Every time you get in front of the camera or a group, you thrive in it. And a lot of us don't. We're like, but you have the it factor, you have it. So utilize it. I do too. And
Thank
it
you.
it's hard when you get the feeling of like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna throw up before a speech or an event or a video or a podcast. Literally, I was like, don't hurl, Tina. It's just a bunch of girls getting together talking about their BS. Like, don't be so,
So, Ina, you brought me Tina.
With an idea. Would you like to hear the idea?
Yes.
Okay, so here's the prize, Janine. I did talk to Tina about it. I had personally great experience. Everything I did readings personally, I got readings by Tina. Everything she told me actually materialized with the time. I almost forgot, and it came up at her live event, at her streams. I actually remembered to give her feedback. This is what happened. This is what happened. This is what happened. She did readings for my relatives in Russia. I was actually interpreting for them. It's always an amazing and positive experience. But everything she told my sister, my aunt, I mean, everything came back with more. So me and Tina had an idea. Would you like Janine to get a demo of what Tina does and she can tell you about your colors? Are you open to that?
I'm open.
Yay! I love that. I love that. So I do have a little jar of ribbons. This is my go-to. Um, it's just to show you guys what the color. It's something that I can display. I've had people going, well, you don't have your ribbons, you can't read me. I'm like, have you not learned? Like, I can still see the colors. Do you want me to turn my eyeballs off? So I just use these to show you because they're pretty and it makes me feel like I have some kind of tool. Um, so you actually have one of my favorite colors, and it's one of the first that I ever read. Well, two. So in this last color, it's like a mixture. So this is confusing me. I've never quite seen it like this. Um, Looks like 2 in 1, and that's weird. I've never seen it like this before. But so you'll have to let me as I'm stumbling through, I guess, a new way of reading.
Oh, yeah. I always like to
So
throw things out, make things
yeah, you want to
interesting.
give me a curveball, I can
There you
see.
go.
But I haven't quite seen it like this. So this one is like purple and maroon, like in one. We'll dissect that one last. But so essentially it's 3 ribbons, but there are 4 colors. So I see teal and yellow, and then there is maroon and purple here. So maybe you don't exemplify all these traits, just some of each of the colors. That's why I'm seeing them separate put together. Um, that's fun. Just give me a new color. I'm like, just give me a color. Don't you know.
Now she's gonna start inventing colors and naming them after herself. I mean,
Right.
I mean,
that's
I'm
the
gonna
way to
have
grow.
to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to. This one's gonna be the Janine.
Jantina. It's gonna be Jantina because Tina did the reading. Janine's color. Jantina. Jantina.
Yeah, yeah. So teal is very common for ADHDers. Definitely, this is a common color. Um, Teal is the girl next door. She is empathic. She is intuitive. She is a complete people pleaser. She has people pleaser stamped on her forehead, and everyone believes it. Um, so teal is one of the colors that self-sacrifices a lot. So we look at everyone else, and our dial is set to giving. And when I say, oh my gosh, Janine, we're going out for lunch, we want to talk about a future podcast, let me buy. And I'm trying to put you over to the receiving nozzle, and you're going, nah, you're like hitting me. I don't think so. I don't do that. Get out of here. You guys are nasty about it. Like, you don't want to receive. And it's not that you don't want to receive, it's just that you're not used to it, or you associate guilt with it, or whatever it is. We all have our own issues with it, but we're just set to giving.
Maybe it's because she has too much to give. Sometimes because of the abundance of giving, you don't leave any room for yourself.
You
to
don't.
actually
You
receive.
overgive. You overgive and over self-sacrifice. So teal is one of the
Don't make her
colors.
cry, please. Don't make her cry because that's very relevant right now.
Teal is one of the colors that I usually ask to coach because they self-sacrifice more than any of the other colors, and they always come last. But we need to practice taking. So take a little more self-care, morning ritual, something to get the day going, because that's where a lot of us teals lack. We get up and we go.
I think her affirmation every morning should be, I'm worthy.
Yes.
This is how I feel.
Yes.
And this is exactly what we say in our ADHD group. We always say, give yourself grace. That's our motto at this point.
Yeah.
Look who needs that reminder.
Well, and the thing is like that is something that I have worked on over the last few years, and it is something that has very much been a part of my life. And recently, I've taken a little bit back from that and have set some boundaries and done some things for myself. So yeah, that has been me to a T in the past. I have worked on it quite a bit.
Yellow, this is actually the first color I ever read, and it made me feel shiitake mushroom crazy. Like, it made me feel bat crazy. Because these people are actually, you guys are kind of rare, okay? Yellow is what it looks like. It brings the sunshine. You guys are too humble for your own good. You can't have a big ego if you tried. It's so annoying. Because you're the ones that should. Like, you should. You have so much kindness in your heart and good intentions, that you're one that should. But here's something that y'all never believe. You never believe this. I think maybe I've had one believe it. Everyone else has been like, no. I had to get validation from the people they were with to know that, yeah. Your smile does something more than what my smile would do. Your smile lifts up the entire room. I'm getting goosebumps everywhere. It lifts up the entire room, even if you're having a bad day. We look for it. If we know you, we look for it. It like Ina said, she felt like she went on a tropical vacation. Your smile can do that. It has that power. And we all have the power of that. We do. But yellow, it is automatic. It is instinctual. It is natural. You could be covered in red and black energy and be going through a crisis of your life, and you smile, and I'm like, everything's gonna be okay. Look at that smile. She's good. She's got this. Like, Your mindset definitely has a lot to do with what you create. Like, start writing down some things. I feel that if we journal, and journaling's good for ADHDers, you know, it
Hmm.
helps get you out of it and then put it to paper. Um, and you can burn the paper if you need to, you know, or you can look at that and go, because yellow is a manifester, like you're very close to gold, and that's like the highest manifester. So karma is real for you 1000%. So you also have, which has got me like going weird, wouldn't that be two different ribbons, but they're together. So
Okay.
this kind of does make sense because these two are assertive female colors, where these ones, you know, they're more people pleasing, accommodating. We are not looking for conflict. We are like the river and we're flowing around it. You
Right.
know. But yellow and teal will be the first one there in a catastrophe. So those are more passive colors. These
Okay.
two are much more assertive. Maroon, I call her the warrior goddess. She is boss babe. She gets things done. She definitely overthinks, but that's good for her because she's a solutionizer. She can take it apart, put it back together. Take it apart, put it back together. 500 different ways to diagnose what's going to be the best way. Now, because you have the teal too, which is just like I go with the flow, that can be frustrating with the overthinking. Guided meditations are best for Maroon because until they're good at it. So Maroon has borderline OCD with perfectionists
I
in
actually
us.
have OCD or been diagnosed with OCD. So
The and with your other colors, like I'm excited to start following and listening and, you know, being a subscriber.
yay.
So you also have purple. Now, this is fun because this is your, have you ever had a reading before at all?
Yeah.
So you've had like tarot readings,
Mhm.
mediumship readings. Okay. Um, Purple is the highest psychic. So you have the highest intuitive, the highest psychic, and then Maroon, which her gut instincts are unparalleled. But this girl is like screaming, let me out. So she is the most psychic. Purple is the most psychic. I call her the queen bee. She's very regal. She likes nice things, and it doesn't have to be top of the line nice. It's the vibe. So most of us, as we elevate in life, we do tend to elevate that vibe, you know. We raise our standards. She loves her space. So if your space is not the vibe that you want it, you will feel all amuck, like
Mhm.
nothing will go right. It's so wild to me. I'm like, it's just my room. All I did was clean my room. You know, I purged my closet, and then all of a sudden I'm like dancing, you know,
I took 5
whistling.
boxes to Goodwill this weekend and it was fabulous.
It's so freeing. It feels so good. Yeah. Maroon likes to purge. Purple don't like to purge so much. We tend to hold on to things as like energetic points or something, and we don't want to let it go because it's an energetic point for us. Now, we can read people very easily. Now, with purple, she's either Glenda or she's Alphaba. Like, we really do decide. We can wake up in the morning and be like, I'm the good witch today. And then the next day, nope, I am the bad witch. Like, we have the capability to build our castle or burn it down. We've got to have something that holds us accountable, I guess. And whether you call it the universe, whether you talk to Jesus, like purple is one of the highest spiritual ones. So we're up there with the yellow and the gold, and we are very curious. Um, and mixed with all these other colors, I could imagine you could probably be a lot like me, and we could be a forever student and be awesome with it. Unfortunately, you got to have a lot of money for that.
Yeah.
So, but with purple, she's really wanting to expand her spirituality and learn more into it and your own gifts. So that is why I do recommend meditation, guided, and even for you, not guided, to try both, to
Mhm.
see, because you could sit there with your notepad and just try and maybe draw while you're doing it. Um, it could be another level of meditation for you. Um, but definitely keep exploring. Like, I feel like you need to explore all the things like palmistry, numerology, like tool. These are all tools that we use.
Mhm.
Um, so I think you're going to be exploring some new tools and exploring them yourself, not just, having people on, but also, well, let me dive into this. Let me see how I can learn, to read my palm. And
So I wonder why the purple and the maroon are mixed together.
yeah, I'm curious about that myself, because normally they're separate and they're two separate entities. And she's one. So I'm like, what, you don't want to make a new color? That means, um, but it's a beautiful combination. Like, these are a very beautiful combination. You have the strong baddie that's able to, do what she's got to do to get stuff done. But then you have a huge heart, girl. Like,
Yeah.
too much. Like, you have a really big heart. You just have to turn it on yourself a little bit more. It's
Yeah.
hard to be you for you. Like, I know this because I'm practicing it like as we speak, and it's hard.
Mhm.
It's like, oh gosh, well, I would want her to get a massage. She's been over this. She's been, da 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 da. But right away, I'm like, finances and this and a ride there and a babysitter and but
Yeah, all the things. All the
yeah, but we will be the first one to promote others to self-care.
Sure.
We're just not
Well,
we're
I'm an
not implementing
ADHD
it like we need
coach. Like
to.
I preach it all the time, as a coach. And what something that you said that really struck me was the curiosity thing.
Yeah.
Because if you do go and listen to some of my stuff, you'll notice that a very common thread for me throughout my entire life is approaching things with curiosity
Yeah.
rather rather than anger, rather than fear. I'm a very curious person and I will ask a lot of questions.
That was one thing my professors hated about me. Well, they either hated it or they loved it.
Right.
I had a couple that was like, "Girl, I have never thought this, intensely about this subject in all the years that I've been teaching it. Thank you." Like, because
Mhm.
it opened up a whole new way of her teaching, a whole new avenue that she never thought about, just because I sat there going, "Well, what about this?"
Love it. Yeah.
I saw the other side of the coin and like, well, what about this coin? Like, that's one thing I'm really good at too, is being observant and not judgmental. I think that's why I'm great at the reading thing, because I'm reading who you are. I'm
Mhm.
reading the colors that you exude, the energy that you exude. I had one lady cry and I'm like, why are you crying? This isn't scary. Like, I didn't even talk to your dead husband yet. Like, why are you crying? And she looked at me and she goes, no one has seen me like that clearly in probably 15 years.
Wow.
And it felt good to have a stranger see who she believes
Mhm.
that she is. And I'm like, oh, honey, we need to get more friends. She goes, yeah, but people suck. I go, I know. That's why we got to learn to filter. Like, boundaries are a thing.
Mm. Yes, they are. Absolutely. Well, Tina, we've had a great conversation.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for everything. It was wonderful. And I learned so much about what you do. And I have some homework, I guess, that I need to do.
Yes. Yes.
And I hope that maybe we can have you on again sometime.
Yes, and if you would like to join my workshops, take a look at the dates. Like, I'll send you my website. Um you can join my workshop because we do meditation right in there where I guide you, so that
Okay.
it's a quick 40 minutes. It's not, I mean, it goes by super quick. But it's a really great tool to help you either start your day or reset your day at the end of the day.
So, where would people find you?
You can find me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all under Tina Queen of Ribbons. or my website, tinaqueenaribbons.com. And I have a little message there that you can message me directly, and I will email you back.
Awesome. All right. Well, Tina, I really appreciate your time and the reading. It was very interesting. And with that, for the butterflies on the wall who've been listening in, if they've enjoyed what they've been listening to and have heard, we would love it if they would subscribe and follow and do all the great things. And with that, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.